on projects. By projects, I mean a plan with others to do something. So, projects and projectors in the past meant things like setting up a trading company and then going out with a ship and bringing back spices or sugar or what else. And in order to do that sort of thing, you needed the funds, you needed the people, you needed the skills, and above all, you needed a goal, a mission, something to be achieved. And that kind of project, which is usually, certainly in the arts and humanities and the social sciences, limited to an individual. Most of my colleagues, if you ask them what they're doing, they say, well, I'm writing a book on so and so. And that is a project because you have to assemble various things to do it and pursue it, and you have to have a goal. But it's a single person pursuing this. It's what my teacher Keith Thomas called the prima donna tradition. In other words, the leading lady who dances on her own, and you dance on your own through your publications. I do and have done a lot of that. I've written a lot of books which are sort of individual projects. But one of the things that I learned early in my life, working to start with members of my family, my mother and sisters and father, and then increasingly with my partners, particularly throughout my life, many projects with Sarah, my wife, and then the two of us joining with 3 or 4 other people to do something. And there have been a succession of these projects. The first big one was reconstructing the history of an English village from 1280 to 1860, Earl's Cone in Essex, which the duration was from 1972 to about 2002, so 30 years, although there was a period of about 20 years in the middle, or 15 years, where we weren't active on it, but we had to redo it, or Sarah did, for the computing age. But that was the longest project that the Social Science Research Council had ever funded, the first 8 or 9 years of our project. And it was very innovative. No one has ever done anything like it since, or had done anything like it before. And all the time we were inventing. This is a feature of projects that I like. They are like exploring. You don't know where you're going until you get there. You have to guess. You have to try and anticipate a future which is not yet born. And you have to invent the methods on the way. If they all exist and the aim and goal is obvious, then lots of people will have done this already. So projects are explorations into the unknown, and Earl's Cone was like that. The second one, which was on the Naga people of Assam, the Assam-Burma border, was again, that was shorter. It was about 6 or 7 years. And again, it required a team of people bringing together their skills in computing and museum work and data sorting. And together we built a unique collection of materials on the Nagas. We had an exhibition in the museum. We wrote a book, and we produced a database and a video disc, the first academic video disc of that kind in the world. And so we were pioneering in that project in a number of ways. And subsequently, the projects have been more diffused. There have been no ones where there have been a small team of 4 or 5 people working together for a long period, except perhaps the Cambridge Rivers video project, which I set up in 1982 with a group of my PhD students. and gradually through time the members would drop out and new members would come in and the goals would change, but all the time the aim was to experiment with new forms of collecting and disseminating information using the latest technologies and inventing new ones. So in the early days, just on simple cameras, and then increasingly with computers, and now with online databases. And this has continued to the present. We still have Cam Rivers, which is now changed into a publishing firm, Cam Rivers Publishing, a bookshop stroke gallery in Cambridge, and many other activities which it takes on with the help of my former student and now close colleague Wang Zilan and others. So that is a diffused project with people working in China, in Britain and elsewhere to create things, to bring unity between the East and the West, which is its main goal. And before that there was the World Oral Literature Project run by Dr. Mark Turin as part of this, under the umbrella of the Vanishing Worlds Foundation. So this pleasure of working together, teamwork, very like the sort of team games I enjoyed at school, where you each have your part. One person is the goalkeeper, another is the striker, and so on. That pleasure of working together closely, mixing your skills, other people coming in where you are not capable of doing the work and supplementing it, particularly in relation to things like mathematics and computing. That is something human beings really like. We are obviously, half of us at least, are very social, altruistic, and there is not much to exceed the pleasure of working closely with 2, 3, 4 other people and achieving something which none of you individually could achieve. I imagine it's the pleasure you get when you're rowing in an 8 on the river, and you feel the strength of the others as you dip your oar in. You feel them pushing as well, and that's what happens in projects. So I never want to give up on projects. I've reached 80 and I'm already planning several new projects which we'll see whether they come to fruition. But there's no reason why anyone, if they want to, can't begin to build up projects. And I've seen this kind of activity, of course, in many parts of the world. The Chinese are extremely good at working together. The Nepalese I worked with in central Nepal were wonderful co-workers in the rice fields. And so human beings are good at this. They like it. And when it goes well, there's not much that can beat it.